Hey, what's going on, y'all? Chris here again. And I wanted to share something with you all. I ran into this article and it hit me like right here. It's from, I almost want to say ADD, but I think it's attitudemag.com. And this is a site they talk about, I guess, all things ADHD inside the ADHD mind. And it was this article written by a doctor. His name was Dr. William Dodson M.D. And apparently this is medically reviewed by Attitude's ADHD Medical Review Panel on April 16th, 2021. I'm not going to sit here and read the whole article to you. Number one, it's kind of long. Number two, you know how to read. So I'm just going to put it in the description for you. But I'm just going to go through it really quickly, just some points that I thought just really hit home with me. He starts out by saying Secrets of Your ADHD Brain. That's the name of the article. And again, I'll put the link in the description. You can check it out. Most people are neurologically equipped to determine what's important and get motivated to do it. Even when it doesn't interest them, then there are the rest of us who have attention deficit, ADHD or ADD, and the brain that goes along with it. Now, he started explaining about what it is and how this diagnostic criteria that has been used for the last 40 years leave many people wondering why if they have the condition or not, or whether or not they have it. There's about 100 of them. So even I find myself trying to figure out, do I have this or not? Because I started wondering, sometimes I feel like I'm in a zone and sometimes I feel like I'm not. It's like sometimes I feel like I have ADHD, ADD. Sometimes I feel like I don't, but then he explains it so articulately in this article here. He goes on to talk about his work for the last decade, suggests that we've been missing something important about the fundamental nature of ADHD. And he says he's found it. And he talks about the ADHD zone. And because people like to say that, you can't pay attention to this, that, but then you pay attention to things that you want to pay attention to. One of the things that I know that I found out for me is that whenever I'm paying attention to something, it's because I want to do it, right? No secret there. But you get into that zone. I'm not sure what it is, but whatever it is more interesting than what I was doing, or it keeps my interest. And it's not all the time like I can't focus on anything. That means nothing is worth, me paying attention to it, or is that important to me? And that's not what it is. But people that are neurotypical tend to think that's what it is. But this is something that goes up and down throughout the day. He says the vast majority of adults with ADHD or with an ADHD nervous systems are not overtly hyperactive. They're hyperactive internally. And he even goes on to say in the article that a lot of people, all these people that he studied, just really wish that they would change the name, because I don't feel like I'm just hyperactive and I'm just, can't sit still. It's my mind that can't sit still. It's the jumping of here and there and everywhere else and all the things that are priority in the mind. That's the issue. So I think this diagnosis, the name of it, kind of needs to be updated, because he goes on to say also later on in the article, what interested you as a 7-year-old is definitely not going to keep your interest as a 27-year-old. So that it doesn't mean in that one instance, well, there you go, you're displaying ADHD, ADD symptoms. The fact is that there are some things that you can concentrate on and other things that you can't. He even talks about school. I was terrible in school. School was just not the thing for me. I think I mentioned that before. And he talks about that the school system is set up for neurotypical people. This excerpt, he goes on how the rest of the world functions. 90% of non-ADHD people in the world are referred to as neurotypical. It's not that they are normal or better. The neurology is accepted and endorsed by the world for people with a neurotypical nervous system. Being interested in the task or challenge or finding the task novel or urgent is helpful, but it is not a prerequisite for doing so or for doing it. Neurotypical people use 3 different task factors to decide what to do, and he goes into it. Now, again, I don't want to just belabor this point and go on and on with this video, with this article, because it's a good read. Maybe, I don't know, 15 minutes or so. But I think not only should you read it, you should have your loved ones read it, friends and family read it too, because this it dispels a lot of myths with people that lose a bit of focus and they get, oh, it's my ADHD. Meanwhile, they weren't diagnosed for anything and they just blithely say it, I don't say, oh, it's my autism. I don't have autism. I don't just take it lightly like that. Oh, it's my Asperger's. People don't do that, but they just blow it off and they just say ADHD as if it's something that is attributed to just not paying attention once. This is something that kind of switches on and off. And not because you want it to, because there are things that I know that I need to do. And even right now, I'm not on any medication. And so I have a million things calling my attention in my mind. It's constantly, like I try to explain to my wife, you're going down a tunnel and then it splits. And then it goes down again and it splits again. Like you got to make a decision between things. And you can never stick on, the tunnel's never long enough for you to actually finish whatever the task is at hand, unless it's novel. The novelty is the initial part, because novel, it means new, but then it has to keep your attention prolonged. Like I can go right now and probably play video games for like 3-4 hours. Probably, it depends. But if it doesn't keep my interest, even that, I love doing it, but I'll find something else to do, even playing the keyboard here. I play keys, but if it's not a song or something I'm interested in doing, something else will get my attention. The medication helps you to take those boring tasks, as many of you may know. And like I mentioned in one video, speaking about, if I got a line of paper clips, I don't care what they're doing over there. Yeah, let them win that money. I got to get these paper clips straight. It could be the most boring job in the world, but it calms my mind. So now I'm starting to see some things with myself being off of this medication for longer than I wanted to be, and running into this article. And it's just a wonderful thing. I mean, this thing almost made me choke up because it just embodied my experience with someone with this, I guess mental disorder or disease or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, when you get a chance, check this out. I'll leave the post. I'll leave the link in the description, and just tell me what your thoughts are about it. I love to hear it. Guys, God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.